Going on, everyone? I want to talk about a trading story in the beginning of my trading career when I first got into crypto. So I've been into crypto. I got into it August 2017 or 16. I'm not exactly sure, but I remember when I first got into it. Bitcoin was around 3K before it did the 20K rally, and I just did not know what was going on. It was like boom, and it exploded. I'm like, what? I can't buy a Bitcoin. It's 20K. I remember like feeling that, like, oh my gosh, I sold all of my BTC. Because those of you that don't know, I got into BTC originally when it was around $300. I sold out, so I didn't know, and it exploded to 20K, and I had a ton of FOMO. Whoa, why didn't I buy more? Oh, I had all that time, and I was just, screwing around, drinking, going to parties and stuff. Like, it wasn't taking my life seriously. Like, why didn't I just pay more attention? So I had all this FOMO and all this regret. But I learned how to trade. When I first learned how to trade, my account was really small. I had like a $300, $400 account. I was trying to figure out how to trade. I was trying to, how do I grow my account? And I realized that the hardest thing about trading was, for myself, managing my emotions. So I would see a setup, and I remember perfectly the first trade I ever, and this was after I got my account to like $5,000. So I went from like 300 to 5,000, and I saw this chart, and I got in so heavy too quick, and the chart just turned on me, man. And I lost. I must have lost 50% of my account. But here's the kicker: I sold too soon. I got in. I was like, oh, I can't. It just kept going down and down and down. And I was like, I panicked. I freaked out. And I just pressed the sell button. I was like, I'll just take a loss. I'll take a loss. I sold. Okay, 50% loss. So I lost like $2,500. Half of my account wrecked, completely wrecked. And I was like, you know what? Trading's not for me. Crypto's not for me. Just screw it. I checked the chart like a few weeks later, and wouldn't you know, I was right. The chart turned around and did the move that I thought it was going to do. And had I stayed in the chart, I would have made $2,500. I would have made $2,500. That means my account would have went from $5,000 to $7,500. And I had to just feel that. I had to feel that emotion. So I felt a lot of emotions: FOMO, greed, regret, fear, all of it, man, all of it. To the fifth degree. I could have bought VeChain. Okay, people were telling me to buy VeChain when it was like back a year ago, and it was just nothing, and I was like, whatever. I didn't pay any attention, and then VeChain did this massive ramp up. So you don't get in it. You like Warren Buffett said, and I don't really like him because he hates crypto, but he says, you don't get every project. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett said, we don't get everything, but we get enough to where we make money, and that's my philosophy. I don't get in every project. Yeah, I miss Chainlink, I miss VeChain, at those big ramp ups, but I didn't miss SRK, and that made my account. And I didn't miss. I'll tell you another thing. I made so much on this chart right here because I bought down there on this Ethereum Bitcoin chart that this made up for all my losses. This covered this loss, and I haven't even sold this yet. Now, and this is why do I bring this chart up? This is a prime example of what it's like to. I would say I screwed this trade up, and I'll point out my screw ups on this trade so you can see. It's pretty deep. 9% for me. That's like ouch. It's not wrecked, but it's not a shark bite. It's more like a punch in the. But it's a punch in the face. It's not the best. It doesn't keep me up at night, but I see it and I'm like, ugh. I mean, if I had to live with that, I could, but I wouldn't want to. This is all I'm trying to say. And I'm going to point out what it's like, what happened, and how in the past I would have panicked sold out of this, and I would have taken a loss. And yeah, so I learned from my past mistakes. So basically, I was buying up here. Okay, I was looking at this base. And I bought. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect setup. However, my sells were directly at this base, but it didn't come up to trigger it, and I was sleeping. Okay, so that's the thing about cryptos is 24/7 market. So I was sleeping and I missed that sell, but I was being stupid. That's the best word to say. I should have, when I woke up and it was already back down here, and I was like, well, I don't want to sell at break even, you know. So I was stupid again, and I didn't. I should have just sold right here, and I didn't. I was too confident in my like abilities. I was like, wow, I don't sell until it hits this. I was like, I should have just sold right there, but I didn't. I was like, and then it turned on me. It went down. Then I bought again, and I sold, and I was like, okay, I'm working the chart. And then it just, turns and it keeps going down. So I bought and sold, and I'm like, why isn't it coming back up to the bases? Like, why isn't it doing that? And so like it just went. And I was like, it's a good opportunity. So I bought. Keep in mind, these buys are a decent amount, I'd say. It's not all of my account, but it's enough to where like I was like ready for this thing. Then it gets down here, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're gonna go back up, or we're gonna at least touch here, and I'm gonna be able to make some money. And we gotta still go up here and touch this space, to correct this. Because that's what VeChain did. That's what Zill did. That's what all the other charts are doing. So this needs to do that. It should do that according to my strategy, and it didn't. So I start playing the chart. Sold here, bought again here, sold here, bought again there, and it just like fizzles. Does this death grind? Which, if you don't know what it's doing now, this sucks, and this really like wrenches at your emotions. It's doing the death grind down, and this is how so many traders got wrecked during the bear market, and I'll tell you how. There wasn't a lot of violent moves up and down, but those are the moves you can profit from. The moves you can't profit from are just the slow little just gradually down to nothing, because you're like, okay, like, should I stay in it? And you're always every day you're like, I should have stayed in it. Should I stay in it? What should I do? Blah blah blah. The only thing this is what's keeping me in this chart. This chart's not behaving like a normal chart. For one, it's not. I mean, if I pull up Link BTC, this is behaving like a normal chart. I should have been in this chart, and it's the emotions again, right? Because look, I made so much money on this chart, and then I lost. It came all the way down to break even. I'll tell you how that happened in another video, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I mean, my buys were set, but because I was stuck in that freaking KNC trade, I used my capital over there because I didn't want to stay stuck. I wanted to have ammunition in here. But I mean, this is what KNC should look like. Literally, this is what it should look like. It doesn't. There's no way of knowing that after I get out of this chart. I'm just trying to get out of this chart, make a decent bit of profit, and then not trade the chart again because it's not behaving like a normal chart. So I'm sitting here waiting, and I could have made so much money on this Link chart. So much freaking money. But anyway, that's the emotions. That's part of trading. You have to accept that. If you can't accept that, even pro traders make mistakes like that. It just happens. It's part of the game. Yeah, I made a ton of money on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. I made a ton of money on the SRK chart. I made a ton of money on Link. I made a ton of money on Zill right here. I made money on XTZ. I mean, my Zill trades look perfect. Up, down, up, down, and up, down it goes. So, and there we go again. The chart behaving normally, right? Coming back up to test the previous base. I could have made money on that. It's probably going to go back up and touch this. I made money on Tezos. Yeah, look at that, behaving normally. It's rebounding, and I made I bought, sold, and I would have bought that. So it's just a bit of unluckiness, really, because I was in all these charts that are behaving normally. See, there we go again. It's behaving normally. It's retesting. It's what you want to see. And let me guess, VeChain is going to be the same freaking thing. Yep, there we go, going back up. Not quite, but I'm pretty confident this is going to come up and hit that. So that's It's heartbreaking. Let me see. Cardano, probably the same freaking thing. Yep, the same thing. Well, I mean, this looks a bit different, but you can see it's coming back up. It came back up every single one, got touched, and it's like, the only chart that I'm in, the chart that I was accidentally in, that I got caught in, is the only chart that's not doing that. And I have to sit back and watch all these other charts, all this other profit, just I'm gonna go do yoga. But anyway, that's just the reality of trading. But no matter how good you are, you can't see stuff like that's going to happen. Like I read the chart, it's enough volume. I stayed clear to my strategies. I stuck to my system, and the chart yet hasn't rebounded, hasn't paid me yet. So what do? Every other chart has, and I showed you like literally every other chart has, except this chart. So that can be the frustrating part. You have to manage that. It is what it is. I don't know where the chart's going to go. Yeah, and I was like, well, what do I do? What do I do? Do I stake my KNC and let it work for me until the chart rebounds and I can flip it and sell it? I don't know. But I just wanted to show you here. This is real. Like, this is like, this isn't like hype and all that stuff. Like, this is just real raw trading. The good and the bad. That made a lot of money, lost a little bit, is what it is, and I missed some other trades. So it's just how it goes. So anyway, I hope this helps. Smash the subscribe and hit the notification bell if you like trading videos. I will talk to you all.